Hello, my dear Astro friends. It's Victor speaking. And today I wanted to talk to you about psychic abilities in your chart. One of the reasons why I chose this topic was because plenty of people asked me actually whether you could become a great astrologer or not. They have got doubts about it. Now, let me tell you this. I do believe that every single of you can become one if you wanted to. There are so many types of astrologers out there. There is the Virgo type who is going to be very nitty gritty and very analytical about your chart. There is going to be the intuitive one, maybe with a prominent Pisces or maybe a prominent Neptunian person. There is going to be the Capricorn one who wants to build a profile for yourself. Maybe there is going to be this Sagittarian one who is going to be trying to promote you or trying to motivate you to do better. So every single one of you can become one. However, in ancient astrology, this subject was ruled by Mercury, because Mercury was the planet who was in charge of anything to do with delivering the messages from the gods to the people on Earth. So we're talking about Hermes, right? And Mercury is the only planet who is invisible for the luminaries. So think about having one of the luminaries, Sun, the brightest one, right? The next sign to Leo is Virgo. There is no major aspect going on between those two. And then we've got the Gemini and the Cancer energy. There is no major aspect going on there either. So therefore, they believed that Mercury was associated with the twilight zone, that really a tiny moment of the day when the sun and the moon are meeting on the sky, just to exchange information of what has been happening on the day. So they associated astrology with Mercury, because Mercury is a subject, or astrology is a subject, which can see the past and can see the future as well at the same time. Now, today I want to share some planetary alignments, placements, and aspects which might give you psychic abilities. But as I said, every single one of you can learn that or develop on that. By the way, I would like to make an announcement. I am going to be holding a webinar on the 14th of June, and the title of the webinar is How to Spot Money in Your Chart. Now, every single of you has got a vocation, I believe. I know we are having very tough times and plenty of you have stopped working. But when you look at your financial houses, financial aspects, and planets in your chart, it might suggest what ways you could make money. Unfortunately, work and money are not always the same. So, God's plan, which is described by Midheaven, might want you to use your psychic powers, for instance, in order for you to grow, but it might not be supporting your financials. So it has to be looked at in different ways. And this is exactly what I'm going to be teaching you on that webinar. I'm going to be teaching you whether there are chances of you winning on the lottery, as well as to inherit money, and where the money can be coming from. Is that from employment, business success, or your natural talents, and so forth? I hope it's an exciting topic, and I'm hoping to see every single one of you on that webinar. Okay, so let's have a look at what can give us psychic abilities. So as I mentioned, one of the main planets for us is going to be Mercury. So if you've got a prominent Mercury in your chart, especially in the 4th and the 12th house, which pretty much are related to your intuitions and subconscious and something to do with your inner self, then you already have got great chances. As well as having Mercury, for instance, in the sign of Cancer and Pisces. Now, both of these Both of these signs are pretty much about having that ability to have a natural dialogue with your intuition. Don't forget that Mercury placement, or Mercury is the planet of communication. It is talking about how you receive and how you interpret information. It talks about your thought process and your communication style. So some of you might be receiving the messages, from your intuition. Some of you might receive those through your dreams, through symbols, through numbers. We've got plenty of those ways to receive the messages. Some people are clairvoyants, being able to see things. Some people are clairaudience, being able to hear things, um, and the sensitiveness and being able to recognize things or cognize things, and so forth. So when you've got Mercury in the sign of Cancer or Pisces, you might have got this natural sense of knowing, uh, for instance, how to increase the ability to pick up on other people's emotions and energies. If Mercury has got, for instance, a conjunction to Neptune, as well as trine or sextile, it can really give you a great psychic ability. Now, Neptune is the planet of uh, anything which doesn't belong to the physical plane. Neptune is the planet which rules anything under and above the ground, something which is very, very mystical. So when you've got Mercury and the Neptune dialogue going on in your chart, there is an increased ability to receive messages from beyond the physical plane. Neptune is the modern ruler of the 12th house, and 12th house is anything to do with your subconscious, your back of the mind, how it operates. It's a highly intuitive sign. Neptune is a planet which craves deep and soulful type of connections. We're talking about the planet which rules divine love. It's not just about loving one person, it's loving everyone. So again, with the Mercury and the Neptune great aspect in your chart, you can do different types of spiritual practices, such as yoga, breath work, brainstorming, meditation, and so forth, to gain those messages from the divine. Of course, the the conjunction is going to be producing the strongest aspect here, but also if you've got, let's say, Mercury and Neptune sextile in your midheaven, it even indicates that you can make it as a profession. If you've got one of these planets, for instance, in your second house, trine in your midheaven, or you can even make money out of it. Another indication of psychic abilities, of course, is related to the planet of a moon. Now, remember that the moon is the reflection of your spirit, and it's pretty much about your soul. Moon rules your inner needs, it rules your intuition, and moon is going to be talking about your inner desires. Remember that every single thing which happens to you in this lifetime has already happened somewhere. So the soul and the spirit have already signed the karmic contract. So they are aware of the upcoming energies. And the moon governs any unconscious realm. And it's going to be talking about how you process your intuition as well. Now, for instance, if you've got moon in Pisces again, or in Cancer, or in the 4th and the 12th house, it could give you great ability to feel others. Of course, we've got the Cancer's ruling planet is the moon, so that's going to be one of the strongest one for us, because the moon is going to have a very special power here with displacement. So you can't really get much more psychic abilities than this. And of course, we've got Pisces, where moon actually likes spending time. It's again a water sign. And this can make you very empathic. It might give you the ability to be able to interpret dreams. Um, with the moon in Pisces, you are able to absorb other people's feelings and energies and basically create a prediction from out of those. Now, if you've got Mercury and the moon in any sort of dialogue, especially by conjunction, trine, sextile again, well, your communication planet syncs up with your intuition ruler. So you can naturally process this otherworldly information. It can really enhance your psychic abilities, especially if it's sextile. It means that you can even make money out of it. But I'm going to be talking about this specifically on the upcoming webinar as well. Um, I've also noticed that with Mercury and the moon energy, people are able to channel others, being able to tap into their emotions and then verbalize those. Moon, especially if someone is familiar with the prenatal moon phase, which is talking about your actual previous life you had, what type of life you lived, then you can even translate that. So Mercury and the moon have got the ability to tap into other dimensions. Now, if you've got Neptune in a prominent placement, such as around your midheaven, again in the 12th house, or in the 4th house, even in any type of relation to Moon or Mercury, even Jupiter, it can really indicate great psychic abilities. We've got the most intuitive planet of the zodiac. So when the moon and the Neptune are placed together or related somehow, then it's just something which comes to you naturally. Your intuition is so amplified that one of the biggest problem of those people is that they can't switch it off. Especially when you find those in, or at least one of the planets in an angular house, even it magnifies it more for them. Um, so another way to probably go about it is if you've got Moon or Neptune aspecting your ascendant. Now, your rising sign is going to be the sign which is going to be deciding whether the message gets delivered to others or not. So when one of the most psychic planets uh, is in an aspect with your ascendant, it's like your intuition is attached to your outer persona. It's something you should not shy away from. But again, if you've got a fixed energy on your rising sign or earthy ones, which are more grounded energies, more reluctant to follow any spiritual path, then they might block it out. Also, it depends whether there is maybe Saturnian influence going on or not. Does that mean that you can't become spiritual, or does that mean you can't become an astrologer or a psychic? Absolutely not. Psychic abilities is like a muscle work. Once you practice, once you develop on that, it's just gonna work anytime. And you're gonna have to learn how to switch that on and then switch it off, you know? So definitely don't be disheartened if you don't have any of these aspects. Another important one could be Neptune around your rising sign, or if you've got Pisces or Cancer rising, that already could give you such thing. Or if you've got North Node, for instance, in Pisces, or even Cancer or Scorpio, you are meant to learn about these. The North Node the North Node reveals in your chart where you should be heading in this lifetime, and it clearly indicates that you should be heading towards some type of spiritual path. Um, if you've got a prominent 12th house or 4th house energy going on in your horoscope, it already is an indication of being able to connect with the divine power, and it can be kind of any type of signs. So the most important thing to remember, we all have got abilities. We just need to tap into those. We've all have got some type of talents beyond the physical plane as well. You're just gonna have to figure it out. You know, everyone can become an astrologer, but maybe there are ways to see what type of. So I recommended someone the other day who had a Uranus and the moon prominent placement, and she really wanted to become an astrologer. So I said, why don't you focus on relocation astrology, which could be brilliant for that combination, you know. Or if you've got a Saturn and the moon energy going on in your chart, why don't you become a vocational astrologer, and so on. So every single of you can have that talent. Well, I hope you enjoy this video. I would love you to leave a comment if you've got any of these aspects in your chart, and I would love to hear about your type of intuitions or how you receive those messages. And also, if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, press like, you know, all the stuff which every single person on YouTube tell you to do. It doesn't cost you anything, but it might be the world to me. So I would really appreciate that. Have a blessed week, and I'm gonna see you again probably on Sunday with a new video. Have a blessed week. Bye bye.